Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a soft corner for uh, Nawaz Sharif. It was Nawaz Sharif who had come for his swearing in 2014. In 2015, the Prime Minister himself made a huge effort of landing at Lahore to attend a family wedding of Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif has a proven track record of trying to have a rapprochement with India, a credible rapprochement with India. You see the Pakistan caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq talking about fighting 300 wars against India on Kashmir. I mean, all I can say is that at least Nawaz Sharif is making sense. The rest of them are delusional. The Indian side very clearly finds the man currently incarcerated in Pakistani jail, Imran Khan, as an unscrupulous person who can swing either ways. The Pakistani public has been weaned on a poison against India, whether it be Kashmir, whether it be sort of Hindu hatred, whether it is against the Indian army. Various powers over the decades have used Pakistan against India. Earlier it was US which used it in 1990s. Now it is China which is using it. Now it is the Pakistan army which is facing terror from groups like Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and all those groups, I think some 46 of them, which are operating within that country.
Former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has lashed out at the army, blaming it for Pakistan's miseries. Now, he said that neither India nor the US were behind Pakistan's problems, but we shot ourselves in our own foot, quote unquote. Now, Sharif abandoning his penchant for blaming India and the US for everything that's wrong with Pakistan. He's clearly going a different route. And to discuss this, we have with us Shishir Gupta, the Hindustan Times executive editor. Shishir, what gives?
Namaskar. Nawaz Sharif, after he's come back to Pakistan from exile, has been making these statements. At least he's made three such statements saying that why Pakistan Army, Pakistan Supreme Court, and Pakistan's politicians like Imran Khan have actually done Pakistan harm rather than India, US, or even Afghanistan. His statements are quite pertinent and should be noted because Nawaz Sharif has a proven track record of trying to have a rapprochement with India, a credible rapprochement with India. He tried in 1999. He was ousted by Pervez Musharraf, who subsequently went on to become the dictator of Pakistan. He tried it in 2015 and he was again foiled by the Pakistan jihadists. He has his own share of problems with the Pakistan Supreme Court and Pakistan Army. In 1993, it was the President Ghulam Ishaq Khan who threw him out. He was restored by the Pakistan Supreme Court. In 1999, he was thrown out by Pervez Musharraf. And then in 2017, it was the Supreme Court who threw out Nawaz Sharif on the flimsiest of charges. Now, when Nawaz Sharif is making this statement, the statement is actually a reflection of truth of what Pakistan is currently there. Right now, the inflation in Pakistan is 29.8% to be precise. The Pakistan rupee US dollar rate is touching a triple century nearly, and Pakistan has a forex reserve of only $9.98 billion US dollars. Now, at this moment, you see the Pakistan caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq talking about fighting 300 wars against India on Kashmir. I mean, All I can say is that at least Nawaz Sharif is making sense. The rest of them are delusional.
So, do you believe that if Nawaz Sharif does perchance happen to come back to power after these elections in Pakistan, which are scheduled for sometime next year, and if all goes well, do you think there's a chance of a thaw in the very frozen bilateral relations between India and Pakistan?
What I can tell you is very clearly that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a soft corner for uh, Nawaz Sharif. It was Nawaz Sharif who had come for his swearing in 2014. In 2015, the Prime Minister himself made a huge effort of landing at Lahore to attend a family wedding of Nawaz Sharif.
Hmm.
So, all I can say is Nawaz Sharif definitely has the credibility and has a proven record with India where India can actually take chances with Pakistan. The possibility if Nawaz Sharif comes to power, and I'm saying it's a huge if, because here the Pakistani generals, the Pakistani Supreme Court, and the Pakistani toxic Pakistani media, they're all, they have their all agendas. But if he were to come to power, there is a possibility that India might resume trade, might resume traditional ties, might resume the air travel. These are not going to be big ticket items, but definitely some sort of normalcy could be restored in case Nawaz Sharif were to come to power. The Indian side very clearly finds the man currently incarcerated in Pakistani jail, Imran Khan, as an unscrupulous person who can swing either ways. I mean, as a swing bowler, when I say that. And they find uh, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari not really the man who has the maturity to deal with, considering that his family has been virulently anti-India since his grandfather, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, decided to wage war against India.
What about the fact that the Indian side has always said, and again you said, if he comes to power, and that's a big if, given the generals do allow him to do that, because even Imran Khan came with the blessings of the generals, and then of course got ousted unceremoniously, and now is behind bars. Uh, what does this say about the state of affairs in Pakistan and the influence of? We all know that Pak army is sarve sarva in that country, but how does it uh, sort of go from here? Because even if you had a Nawaz Sharif, and even if India wanted to soften its stand, there is still the towering presence of Pakistan army there, which does not want things to normalize.
Yes, Aditi, what you're saying is right. It's not only the Pakistan army, it is also the Pakistani civilian political leadership as well as the media. You see, what has happened in Pakistan is that the Pakistani public has been weaned on a poison against India, whether it be Kashmir, whether it be sort of Hindu hatred, whether it is against the Indian army. So anything that stands good for India is not liked by Pakistan. At the same time, the Pakistanis are also a bit delusional because rather than going back to their South Asian or Indian subcontinent DNA, they're actually looking for some justification while they sort of try and trace their DNA to Ottoman Turks or to the Arab caliphates. So it's a country which is a bit delusional about its capability and about its ability to do things. Now, to add to the misery is that various powers over the decades have used Pakistan against India. Earlier it was US which used it in 1990s. Now it is China which is using it. So the point is Pakistan has to think through as to what it really wants with India. The ball is in Pakistan's court, not the Indian court. Because as far as India is concerned, Pakistan definitely is not on the table.
Okay, and what about, because yeah, because as far as India is concerned, we've said a reduction in terror, or at least visibility that you're doing something about the terror operating on your soil. has to be you should be seen to be doing something about it. Only then can any sort of ties resume. What about that angle? What is the status of the terror groups that are trying to create havoc in the valley?
See, the fundamental or the bottom line in this entire relationship, if it is to proceed further, is that cross border terror, proxy terror has to stop. That is the basic fundamental. Without that, nothing is happening. Let me tell you at the outset. But the problem right now is while India has been able to contain the cross border terror post abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A, the problem is now within Pakistan. Right now, it is the Pakistan army which is facing terror from groups like Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan and all those groups, I think some 46 of them, which are operating within that country. So, what is happening is there is a problem with Afghanistan over the Durand Line issue. There is a TTP problem over the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa issue. Then there is a problem in Baluchistan over the Baluchistan National Army, Baluchistan Liberation Army. Then there is a problem in Sindh, and then there is a larger problem in the northern areas. So Pakistan has to first come to terms with itself before it starts to deal with somebody else. But let me be very clear on this. If there is any person who, over the past 4 decades, has shown that he has a credibility to deal with India and a proven record with India, it is Nawaz Sharif. But what is unfortunate about it is that last time on December 25, 2015, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Lahore, that was the day that Jaish-e-Mohammed decided to do attack on the Pathankot air base that started on January 1st, 2016. So the problem is the Pakistan jihadists, the problem is the Pakistan army, and the civilian political leadership is no better. That's what it is.
What is in it for Nawaz Sharif? I understand the perspective of India, but Nawaz Sharif talk blowing the peace pipe, so to say, wanting to sort of saying nice things about India and wanting to get into the right side of India. What is in it for Nawaz Sharif? Why is he doing that?
See, Nawaz Sharif realizes very clearly that if he has to move Pakistan away from the jihadi radicalization that is already in place, if he has to move Pakistan away from this, this Kashmir mindset, if he has to actually make Pakistan an independent state with a thriving economy, the only way that he can do is have at least some sort of normal ties with India. Adversarial ties with India are not going to help Pakistan. And not only that, it is not going to help Pakistan globally also, considering the Indian equation all over the world. So Nawaz Sharif has tried earlier also. In 1999, he tried it when he did the Lahore bus yatra with Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But he was actually nixed or nipped in the bud by the Pakistan army itself. The fact of the matter is that even before Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee crossed the Atari border, the Pakistan army was already in Kargil. That's a fact. Similarly, he tried in 2015 also. It could have gone ahead, but then again the jihadis came in. So Nawaz Sharif knows very clearly where the interest of Pakistan lie. It is for the others to realize what is the real reality of the situation.
Thank you, viewers, for watching this broadcast of Point Blank. I hope it's brought you some perspective into why Nawaz Sharif is uttering these platitudes about India and also the US. Thank you for watching.